All right, welcome back, problem solvers. ET120, this is Wednesday, a lecture continuing on sketching. So hope you're all doing well and made it through that last straight line sketching exercise. You have some more sketching to do. We're not done with that, but it'll change a little bit. So today we're going to talk about sketching circles, right? And how to go about that, because straight lines, you have a start and an end point, but a circle is a little different. So the common technique with sketching circles is to box them in first. So if I have a drawing that maybe is some kind of rectangle, make sure you can all see that. Yeah, that's all right. And let's say it's got a hole in here. We want to sketch that circle in. First, you can locate it. You can locate it just like we've done before. It's okay to use your scale, right, and to locate it. Or you can just use proportions. Proportion works fine too. I'm going to aim you up a little bit. Either way, because sketching is not a exact science, right? You just want it to look good, so then you can move to AutoCAD or some other system to draw it really nice, right? But this is to work out problems that you're trying to solve. So let's say that I know the circle is a third the distance. So here's a half, a third, kind of in here, and then halfway up. So it is common to like locate your center of your circle. Then what you want to do is you want to measure the quadrants of your circle. And I'm going to use a green pen for this because you would do this really light. Like you would barely be able to see this. So maybe I come up and I measure all these quadrant points with my scale. I think you can see that. It's really light, which it should be really light. Then you lightly sketch in a box that's going to hold your circle. So you box in your arcs and you box in your circles, right? So I just sketched a box there. Really light, so it barely shows up, but then you don't have to erase it. In the sketch, it's fine if that stays. But then you go and you think about from quadrant to quadrant and you sketch in basically an arc. Fairly hard to do on a whiteboard, but I guess you'll figure it out or you'll kind of see how I'm doing it. That helps you draw a circle. Notice I didn't just try to do this. Because if you just try to put your pencil down and draw a circle, it's going to be horrible, right? I just can't do it. So we want to use that same technique of little small strokes and kind of working it in. Once you like it, then you darken it up, right? Darken it up. And you have a circle that has been sketched. That can be with rounding corners, like if I got to round this corner, right? I just want to get my start and my end point, pull it out nicely, and get a nice sketched curve in. And again, you can leave these little straight lines, that's fine. Just leave your little sketch. Just do them really light, right? Really, really light. All right, I'm going to go to my pad of paper and see if I can show you that again. All right, so if I had, again, an object, right? And on green paper, it's really easy because you can use your grid that's coming through to create shapes of the right scale and the right proportion. So then if I literally wanted this in a third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Third of 11 is 3, 3.5, something like that. So 1, 2, 3, that's 9, so maybe 3.5. Right, so then I mark my center point. Now I can use my grid, like if this is the center and I want to come out, let's say it's a small circle, I'll come out one full mark, all the way around. And I kind of just super lightly sketch that in. A lot of times you hardly have to do anything because you have your grid. Then I start to just flare this thing out. And I have a boxed in circle. Once I start to like it, I darken it. So then I can leave these little lines out there, that's fine, right? This is a great technique for circles and corner fillets. Like if I knew I wanted a fillet from here to here, I can start here and blend it from one side to the other. Now this maybe is a little too dark, so I can just take it off. So gives you nice kind of structure to make round curved objects. All right. That's the sketching technique I want you to use to create this next exercise, and I want to talk about it because I'm using the exercise out of the book, but doing something different with it, which you'll find out I do a lot of. We're jumping around. This is page 163, page 163, and you are going to do 28, this one, okay? And you're going to sketch it basically. So you're going to set your paper up. I would set it up in portrait, which means I can go to the front of the book and look for a portrait layout. That would be this one where it's 8 inches from here to here, right? Because we know our paper is 8.5 by 11. And you can put this down at the bottom of a portrait layout. So it does show you that here. It says Form 1 goes here along this side. So essentially, it's going to set up with Form 1 down across the bottom in portrait. All right, so that's how you want to lay it out. And then you're going to work on this one. Again, you're going to sketch it, right? I'll let it focus. You're going to sketch it, and you're going to use these grids to set up a grid on your paper. But if you do it 1-to-1, like one grid on here is one grid on your paper, you're going to end up with too small of a drawing, right? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 grid spaces tall. Your drawing on your paper would be so small. It would be from here to here. It would be that small on your paper, right? And this would be, you'd have some kind of circle here and some slope like that. It's just a little small on the paper. We're going to want it bigger on the paper. So what I say is let's try to double it. Let's see if doubling it works. So this would be drawing something to scale, to a scale, right? So if you count these boxes and do it directly on your green paper, that would be 1-to-1. If you count these boxes and say, oh, on my green paper, I'm going to make it 2 boxes for every 1 box, that would be a scale of 2-to-1, meaning you're blowing up, you're making bigger this drawing. That's what I want you to do, is try to blow it up. You're going to hand sketch this, and you're going to use these grids to figure out how big this stuff is. Where you see hidden lines, that's projecting from this little slot. You're going to put a hidden line in. Where you see hidden lines here, put hidden lines in. Okay? Again, sketch, no instruments, no straight edges. You can use your scales, but I don't think you're going to need to because you're going to end up just counting boxes. Box these guys in, right? Try to make as good of hand circles as you can. Don't use a template. And go for some practice sketching. Okay? So that was pretty quick. And that's kind of how it goes in class, too. I don't lecture a lot in this class. You spend a lot of time in labs, so that's kind of how we're going to go for this first couple weeks. Then I get more lecture-y as we get into the details of dimensioning and all the aspects of a good engineering graphic. So, all right, good luck with that. It is number 28 on page 163. You're going to set it up portrait style. That's like this, right? Not landscape, that's like this. You're going to set it up portrait style, and you're going to put the two views together like you see in the book. All right. Talk to you on Friday.